After Eniola left the other traders, she walked as fast as she could to prove to them that she could go to Isoko village and return to their village in 7 days. That day, even when Eniola got so tired from walking all day, she refused to take a break and rest. She knew the other traders would stop and rest, so she used that as the opportunity to cover the extra mile. Surprisingly, because of Eniola's determination, she covered more than half of her journey in 1 day. Even at night, she turned on her kerosene lantern and kept walking until her legs were tired. After walking until about 10 p.m. that night, Eniola decided to find a big tree and she slept underneath it until morning. The following day, as soon as the sun rose, Eniola ate part of the little food she had carried in her basket and continued her journey. This time, she was getting closer to the Isoko mountain and she could even see the full view of the mountain from the forest she walked in. By night, Eniola reached the mountain, but because she was too exhausted to carry on, she slept at a small shade some other traders had created at the foot of the mountain. The shade was created specially for traders who arrived at the Isoko mountain at night so they could rest and prepare for the mountain climbing the following day. When morning came, Eniola did not even wait for some of the traders she had met at the shade to wake up so they could climb the mountain together. She just started climbing on her own. Unfortunately, climbing to the top of the Isoko mountain was not as easy as Eniola had imagined. Eniola estimated that she would spend at least half the day climbing the mountain. But by the time she reached the top, where the Isoko villagers lived, it was already evening. Just like in all the stories Eniola had heard as a child, Isoko village was very beautiful. Because the village was on top of the mountain, the weather there was very different and cold. It was almost like the village dropped straight out of heaven because it was nothing like Eniola had ever seen. Not only was Isoko village very beautiful, but it also had some of the tallest trees Eniola had seen in her life. The villagers there were very friendly, and from the way Eniola walked around admiring the villagers could tell that Eniola was a visitor. "My daughter, do you need a place to sleep tonight? I can see that you are a traveler, and you look very exhausted from your journey," a kind woman asked Eniola. The woman and her children had seen Eniola admiring the village, so they figured out that it was her first time visiting Isoko village. "Oh, not at all," Eniola answered, and she walked away. Shortly after Eniola walked away from the woman, a man in his late 60s who was sitting outside his house spotted Eniola and called her. "Welcome, my daughter. I can see that you are not from here." The old man said, "If you want a place to stay for the night, my house is open to you," the old man said. "No, Papa. Thank you." Eniola thanked the man. "I do not plan on staying long in your village," Eniola added. Then she walked away from him. Eniola did not understand why the villagers were being too friendly to her until she stumbled upon a trader returning from the Isoko market that evening. "Good evening, ma," Eniola greeted the woman who had a big basket of colorful fabrics on her head. "Good evening, my daughter," the woman responded. "This is my first time in Isoko village, and I came here to buy some fabrics," Eniola said. "Oh, welcome. Have you found a place to stay yet?" the woman asked. "That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. 2 people have already offered me a place to stay, but I declined," Eniola said. "Ah! Why did you do that? Are you scared that they might do something bad to you? Don't worry. It is a tradition for the people of Isoko to accommodate visitors, especially travelers like us who will only be here for a short while," the woman said. "I don't want to stay here for long. I plan on leaving tomorrow," Eniola said. "Tomorrow?" the woman asked in shock. "But you just arrived here. Didn't you come to buy from their market?" "Yes, I did. I will go to the night market this night, so by morning, I will have finished buying everything I need, Eniola said confidently. Ah! You want to enter Isoko night market? The woman asked in shock. Yes, I want to shop there tonight, Eniola said. Didn't they tell you that it's an abomination for an outsider to enter the Isoko market at night? The woman asked Eniola. Oh, please, I'm not interested in what they say. If you all fear entering the Isoko market at night, how will we know if they are not deceiving us? Eniola asked. You shouldn't say that. Remember that you are a visitor here, so you should obey the rules of other people's land, the woman said. Thank you, ma, Eniola said rudely. Then she left the woman. Even after Eniola walked away, she could still feel the woman's eyes on her, and when she turned to check if the woman was still looking at her, she saw that she was still there. If you like, we can talk until tomorrow. I will still go to the market this night, Eniola said, then continued to walk toward the market. While walking towards the market, Eniola noticed she was the only outsider going in that direction. The rest of the traders from other villages were all walking in the opposite direction. About 2 hours later, Eniola reached the market, but it was very empty. She found empty stalls, but there was nobody in the market, not even the indigents of Isoko village. I really want to see what will happen to me tonight, Eniola said confidently. Then she looked for a stall with a long wooden bench and fell asleep on it. As of the time Eniola arrived at the market, it was already 9 p.m., which was a few hours before midnight. Eniola did not know that she had made a terrible mistake by falling asleep at the Isoko market that night. Around midnight, when Eniola was still deeply asleep, she suddenly heard the voices of people and footsteps walking around the night market, and immediately Eniola opened her eyes. She screamed! They were skeletons walking around the markets with baskets of foodstuffs, clothes, jewelry, etc. The stalls that were empty before Eniola slept off that evening were suddenly filled with different wares, and some skeletons were busy trying to display their goods. So it is true, Eniola murmured as she stood up from the bench she slept on to look around. She didn't even realize when she walked into the middle of the market. Aside from the skeletons Eniola saw, she also saw people with rotten skin and very disturbing looks. By merely looking at them, Eniola could tell that they didn't die from natural causes. Come and buy my beautiful fabrics! 20 cowries each! One of the skeletons yelled while ringing a small bell. When Eniola looked closer at the fabrics the skeleton had in its stall, she spotted the exact design of the Asoebi fabric she had come to buy and rushed down there. Eniola felt it was her lucky day because Iyagbenga had estimated that each fabric would cost 40 cowries, so buying them at 20 cowries each was a steal for Eniola. How many pieces of this fabric do you have to sell? Eniola asked the skeleton, but as soon as she did that, something unexpected happened. You are not an indigene of Isoko village! How dare you enter the night market? The skeleton asked in a loud voice. Immediately the skeleton said that it was almost like everyone in the market stopped moving or speaking, and they all turned in Eniola's direction. Abomination! All the skeletons and other ghosts with rotten skins said in unison. Didn't they tell you that it was taboo for a non-indigene of Isoko village to enter the night market? One of the skeletons asked. By this time, every ghost and skeletons that were present in the night market had gathered around Eniola. I'm sorry, Eniola stuttered. It's already too late to be sorry. You have entered a place where you can no longer live. One of the ghosts with a rotten body said. I don't understand. What do you mean? Eniola asked. With the way the skeletons and ghosts had gathered around her, Eniola was already scared and shaking in fear. Look around you. Do you see any human here? Even the indigents of Isoko village are not here tonight, because tonight is our spirit market, and it is not the regular night in which indigents can visit us. One of the skeletons said. As soon as Eniola heard that, she looked around the market, and that was when she realized that she was the only human in the whole market. I'm so sorry. I will leave now. I swear, I will never come to the night market again. Eniola pleaded. You cannot go anywhere right now. You are stuck between two worlds, and you have to spend the rest of your life here. The skeletons answered in unison. May the gods forbid! How can a human be stuck in between two worlds? I have never heard of such before! Eniola said in a teary voice. That's because no one has ever disobeyed our rule, one of the ghosts said. Please, help me! I have to go home. I only came to the night market because I believed I could find fabrics at a cheaper price. Eniola said, It was your greed and stubbornness that brought you here. Now you have to pay the price. One of the ghosts said. Please, don't say that, Eniola said. Already, Eniola's eyes had turned red from crying, and her heart rate had increased because she was terrified. I beg you, I am my mother's only child, and she's at home waiting for me. Eniola begged. Didn't your mother warn you against coming to the night market? One of the skeletons asked. She did, but I refused to hear. Eniola said, Mama, I should have listened to you. If I did, I wouldn't be here. Eniola soliloquized. Please, my ancestors, is there anything I can do to take me back to the land of the living? Eniola asked. There is, but the question is it something you are willing to do? One of the skeletons asked. I will do anything! Just say it! I will! Eniola said desperately. For you to return to the land of the living, then someone must replace you here. One of the ghosts said. Ah! Eniola yelled. How will I find someone to replace me? That's not possible! Eniola said. We can make things easier for you. You don't have to bring the person here. You just have to accept that we can summon the person's spirit, and that will be all. One of the skeletons said. If that will help me get out of here, then I will do it. Eniola said. Okay. Step into this circle and call your mother's name 3 times, one of the ghosts said. My mother's name? Eniola asked in shock. Yes, she is the one we will use as your replacement, another ghost said. No, I can't kill my mother. She has nothing to do with this. Please, is there another way? Eniola asked. Then you must serve your punishment. You broke a rule, and you must be punished for it, one of the ghosts said in a loud voice. The next thing, all the spirits and skeletons who had surrounded Eniola began to sing a song she didn't understand, and then something happened. Eniola began to feel a very sharp pain in her chest, but before she could say a word, she began to throw up blood. A few minutes after Eniola began to throw up blood, she found herself lying on the ground, and she watched as the skeletons and ghosts touched her body one after the other. It wasn't just normal touches. Each time a ghost or skeleton touched Eniola's body, she would scream in pain. Eniola did not know that the skeletons and ghosts were performing a ritual to fully separate her from the land of the living. The following day, after the painful ritual the spirits did on Eniola, she realized that no one could see her in the market. Eniola even saw the woman who warned her against shopping at the night market, but she couldn't talk to her because she had become a spirit. Unfortunately for Eniola, the angry skeletons and spirits had turned Eniola into a spirit, leaving her to wander the market of Isoko. The worst part was that Eniola's spirit could not leave Isoko village, and she remained there for many generations. To warn other children from breaking the rules and ignoring institutions, Eniola's story became a moral lesson for stubborn children. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.